A note found next to the bodies. 2 women. A children's playground. It said, "Happy Women's Day." He wrote it himself. He planned it. His name was Vladimir Stankevich. A husband, a neighbor, the man next door. They sentenced him to death. He didn't die. 15 years. And then he walked free. And the court erased everything. Legally, he never existed. Krasnokamensk, a uranium mining city, deep in Siberia, closer to China than to Moscow, 60,000 people. Close to outsiders during the Soviet era. Everyone knew their neighbors, or thought they did. 1995. The Soviet Union had just collapsed. The system was gone. Police were underfunded. Records were incomplete. Institutions had stopped working. In a city like this, things could disappear. People could disappear. And no one would connect it. He knew that. A factory worker, a husband, a neighbor. He had lived here for years. He knew the streets. He knew the empty lots. He knew when people walked alone. And he knew no one was watching. He was born in 1962, Krasnoyarsk. His father left when he was a few months old. Never came back. He grew up with his mother. Quiet, struggling to connect, especially with women. In school, no one noticed him. No friends, no presents, just there. He married, got a job at a factory, moved to Krasnokamensk, became a neighbor, a colleague, someone you pass in the hallway, someone you nod to, nothing more. Psychiatrists later found sadism, necrophilic tendencies. But at the time of the killings, he was legally sane. He knew exactly what he was doing. He chose to do it, every single time. April 1995, Krasnokamensk. Late at night, a woman was walking home, alone. He approached her, calm, polite. He offered her a cigarette. Nothing felt wrong. She stopped. She listened. And then, everything changed. She was found in a courtyard, unconscious, naked, mutilated. She survived, barely. But she couldn't remember his face. Police treated it as an isolated incident. One attack, one night, nothing more. They moved on, and so did he. He waited. Months passed. The city forgot, and on December 8th, he came back. This time, the woman didn't survive. Her body was found on an empty lot, stabbed repeatedly, strangled with her own stockings. People thought it was random, just another crime, in a city falling apart. But it wasn't random. It was never random. December 30th, 3 weeks after the last body, another woman, another empty lot, another night, naked, mutilated. She survived, but remembered nothing. The city started to talk. Rumors spread. People said the killer lived in the central district, that he only hunted at night, that he attacked women who walked alone. And then they noticed something else. Every attack happened when groups of women left for China on trading trips. Their husbands stayed home, alone. The streets emptied after dark. Women stopped walking alone. Schools warned their students. Police sent patrols. Female officers went undercover, walking the streets at night, as bait. But he was already watching. February 1996, a fourth victim, a knife, and a piece of wood. She died from traumatic shock. 4 attacks. 2 dead. 2 survivors who couldn't identify him. And the city of Krasnokamensk was running out of time. March 1st, 1996. 2 women. Friends. They had been celebrating something. Together. Late at night. They never made it home. Their bodies were found on the grounds of a children's playground, not far from each other. Both mutilated. One had her skull fractured, crushed inward. The injuries were severe. Investigators said they had never seen anything like it. And then they found the note, handwritten, left near the bodies. It said, "Happy Women's Day." International Women's Day was 8 days away. He had been planning ahead. The city stopped. This was no longer one crime. No longer isolated incidents. This was one man, operating in their city for almost a year, and no one had stopped him. They created a task force, prosecutors, police, working together. They checked every man with a criminal record, every man with a history of mental illness, every man known for violence. Hundreds of names. Nothing. At night, patrols walked the streets, female officers in plain clothes, walking alone, waiting. He didn't come. They went back to the survivors. Both women remembered almost nothing. A man, middle-aged, dark clothing. That was all. Months passed. More patrols, more interviews, more dead ends. The city was watching. The killer was watching too. And then, one of the survivors remembered something. Something small. Something he had said during the attack. One sentence. He mentioned that his wife had recently left for China. That was enough. They pulled the records. Every woman who had traveled to China around the time of each attack. Then, their husbands, one by one. They called them in, asked questions, watched their reactions. Most were calm. One wasn't. Vladimir Stankevich. He couldn't sit still. His hands moved. His answers shifted. They noticed. They searched his apartment. On the front door, a small bloodstain, possibly matching one of the victims. On the clothing of multiple victims, fiber traces, matching his coat, matching his trousers. Circumstantial, all of it. But it was enough to arrest him. He denied everything, sat across from investigators, calm now, controlled, and said, "Nothing." They had almost nothing, and they knew it. Circumstantial evidence, no witnesses, no confession. So they bluffed. Investigators told him they had more than they did. Witnesses, testimony, evidence that would bury him. All of it. Fabricated. He listened. He sat with it. And then he confessed. 6 murders. All of them. But it didn't last. Days later, he took it back. Said he was pressured. Said they forced him. His wife filed complaints. Letters to every institution, claiming abuse, claiming lies. But then the witnesses came forward. A woman who saw him on the street the night of March 1st. Neighbors who noticed blood on his clothes. Family members who confirmed he always carried a knife. The bluff had worked. And the truth was already out. The trial ended. The verdict, death. The court had decided final, absolute. But then, everything changed. In 1999, Russia placed a moratorium on the death penalty to comply with European human rights standards. The Supreme Court reviewed his case and overturned the sentence. Death became 15 years. 15 years. For 6 murders. He served every day of it. And in 2011, he walked out, a free man. But that wasn't the end. Years later, he went back to court, not as a defendant, as a petitioner. He asked the court to erase his criminal record entirely. The court agreed. Legally, the murders never happened. Legally, he is a clean man. The lead psychiatrist had one comment. She said, theoretically, a person with these characteristics does not change. She left it there, unfinished, like everyone else, work like everyone else, live like everyone else, 2 blocks away, for years. The woman who survived said he was polite, calm. He offered her a cigarette. Nothing felt wrong, until it did. This wasn't a monster, not someone hiding in the shadows. It was a neighbor, someone you knew, someone you nodded to in the hallway, and somewhere out there, legally, he still exists. Clean record, no history, just another man.